Hi, this tutorial explains why you should use the EMFStore. What we will do in this tutorial is demonstrate an application that was built on the EMFStore framework. This application is Unicase and it uses all the capabilities that the EMFStore framework provides. First of all, we will start with looking at an EMFStore repository. We can do that with the EMFStore browser. It's a view that is very much like the SVN repository browser. We can see here that we have one repository, that's one of our servers, and I can connect to the repository. I'm currently logged in with the user and I can see the models on this repository that I have access to. We refer to models mostly as by the name project, and the project basically contains a model. So what I can do now is I can select any of these models. I'll select this one. This is the model where we keep the requirements of the Unicase project itself, and we can check out that model. If we check out the model, then a copy of the model is transferred from the repository to your local workspace, and it's persisted transparently for the framework user in the local workspace, and it then can be displayed. And as a first means to display that, we have the Unicase Navigator. And the Unicase Navigator is a view that will display the hierarchical structure of your model and all the models that you check out through your local workspace. Once the checkout is completed, it shows in the Navigator. This Navigator is also part of the EMFStore framework and can just be used as is. It now here shows that I have checked out one copy of the Unicase project in revision 3785. And it shows the structure of this model. In our model, we kind of have a document model with different entries in there. Also, shipping with the EMFStore framework is a reflective editor. So if you want to open one of these model elements, you just double click it and it opens in the respective editor. Of course, you can replace that editor also, but this gives you the opportunity from the very beginning to have a view at the models that you store in the EMFStore and to also edit them if you want to. Now if I change something in the model, this is also tracked by the EMFStore framework. You can also see that being reflected in the Unicase Navigator by that little star symbol that shows that there are pending changes on this project. And if I want to commit that, for example, I get a commit dialog. This commit dialog is also part of the framework, and it shows what had happened. So it says unset parent in the leaf section sprints from the previous value composite section. So basically I've removed this leaf section from its composite section. I can enter a log message or not and then commit these changes to the repository. And by that I have effectively also, as you can see here, increased the version number from 3785 to 3786. Now what I can also do with the framework, the EMFStore browser versions the model on the repository. So I can get any version of the model that I have previously committed. To have a look at all the versions that are available, I can just right click here in the Navigator and select Show History. And this history browser that now opens up is also part of the EMFStore framework, and it shows the revision history. So here I can see that I was the committer of the last version, and that is the version 3786. It's the head version, and also it's the base version of my current workspace. I can open up each of these nodes and see what has happened in this revision. So in this revision I have only done this one simple change, and it was on this model element. If I double click that, that will also open up in the ME editor again. And what I can also do, of course, is I can check out any version. So for example, I could say I want to have the version 3783, and I can check out this version, and it will show in the Unicase Navigator also. Now coming to the last thing that you can do, you can also have the situation that two users are changing the same model element in the exact same feature, and that you have a conflict, as we refer to that situation. So what we want to do now is we will just check out another copy of this project. I will do that. Now I've obtained a second copy of the project. It's currently in the same revision, simulating two different clients, for example. what I could do right now, I could, for example, go in here and change the name of this document to Project Management Documents, adding an S, and the other user, for example, change it to Documenta, adding an A. Now, if I commit this on one of the two local copies, that will be not a problem. It's a set name and composite section from 2. Okay, I'll commit that. Now, if I want to commit the same change on the other copy, it will tell me, okay, your project is outdated, you need to update before commit. Do you want to update now? Okay, I'll do that. And now a merge conflicts dialog pops up, which is also part of the framework, and it tells you that you have changed the name of composite section to documents, and the attribute was changed to Documenta on the repository, and I can decide to keep my change or keep their change. And I will say I want to keep my change, and what that will do now, it has merged the changes, and I can now commit my changes to the repository. And as I can see here now, the set is now effectively set to documents as I have decided. And I'll commit that change to the repository. So that was the merging facility. To point out two important features, basically this whole thing works like SVN. So it's in an offline mode, you obtain a copy of the model, you manipulate the model, and whenever you want to synchronize with the repository again, you engage in a commit or an update action, and potentially that might result in a merge if there are conflicting changes, which will all be taken care of by the framework, including the dialogues. Of course, you can change the strategy to detect conflicts or the strategy how to resolve conflicts, for example, by an automatic conflict resolver that does not pop up with the dialogue. And secondly, what we also support with the data on the repository and on the client is migration. So if you change your eco model, which your models conform to, then you can generate from your changes in the eco model a migrator that is automatically engaged by the client and by the server whenever it detects that the model does not conform to the current version anymore. Okay, thank you very much for listening to this tutorial.